For me, my goal was I wanted to try something new and I wanted to do something that I thought would be impossible for myself. And for me, that was college, and I made that possible for myself. So these are the following schools I looked at: Beacon, Leslie, CLE, CIP, and Landmark. And the schools on the side, they say what they are and what they're going to do. So for me, I picked Beacon College, which is located in Leesburg, Florida, about 45 to 50 minutes from Orlando. And this experience was actually, I loved it because it was a trial and error school. I really learned what I liked and what I didn't like, and I was very happy when I was able to finish my first semester very successfully. So, like I said, I did love the school, but the parts that made it hard were some of the supports and safety and the lack of healthy food and traditional campus as well. So when I was at Beacon, I learned I basically gained the critical eye, knowing what I'm looking for and asking the right questions when I go at schools now and stuff. So these are some of the questions I ask when I look at schools, especially the psychological supports and the safety and the ratio. Those are, and the graduation, all of those really. So this slide is some tools that helped me. The one that helped me a lot in the beginning was thinkcollege.net. And they have a bunch of schools on there. They have 4 years to 2 years to trade schools. And there's so many options, and they're around the whole United States. So my main goal is just to know that college is an option. There's different kinds, and that it's an opportunity for your kids. Thank you.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. So, first order of business, I'd like to note that this speech of mine is actually pretty not educational, not important, not challenging. It's just plain and simple from a person with a disability. So, my name is Stephen Clark. I am 26 years old. I live in Irvine, California. I have lived there my whole life, and I have a sister, Amanda, who is 2 years younger than me. She now lives in Iowa as a therapist. I remember when I was in first grade, it was time for show and tell. A lot of my classmates were sharing that they knew how to tie their own shoes. I wore shoes with Velcro because I couldn't tie my own shoes. That was when I first thought that I was different than everybody else. It took me longer to learn things, and I needed people to help me. But I didn't let that stop me. I played sports, I learned to swim and was on a swim team. I learned to read and write. I made friends. I collected movies. I have always liked movies, starting out with Disney movies at the theater and at home. When I was young, I didn't like the previews at the theater because they were too loud. But as I got older, I became okay with that. When I was in elementary school, my parents gave me an allowance. Each month, when I got my allowance, I would immediately spend the entire amount on a DVD. I really enjoyed Harry Potter and superheroes like Spider-Man. Gradually, I moved on to more sophisticated movies and even R-rated movies when I turned 18. Movies like Pulp Fiction, The Hurt Locker, and my favorite, The Godfather. My interest in movies led me to think I'd like to be an actor. When I was in high school, I was able to take a drama class, and I was in some plays with my special ed class. I told people I wanted to be an actor, but didn't work on it seriously until about 3 years ago, when I started taking acting classes at the Performers Academy. Since then, I have gone on some auditions and have been part of the cast of the hit TV show Born This Way. We won an Emmy. Thank you. I was very excited that I got to meet one of my all-time favorite actors, Morgan Freeman, at the Emmy Award ceremony. The past year, I've made new friends on Born This Way. Throughout my school years, I had crushes on cute girls, but they were never interested in me. I have finally learned what it means to be in a reciprocated relationship. I experienced my first date and my first kiss with Megan on Born This Way. Even though we are no longer boyfriend and girlfriend, because I realized Megan and I wanted different things in a relationship, we can be friends. I learned a lot from my experience in this relationship. Because I like movies, my first job was at a movie theater. It was a summer job right after I finished high school. And I was responsible for cleaning the theater. A couple years later, I got a job as a courtesy clerk at Albertson's grocery store. I worked there for 5 years. I also have worked as a dishwasher at Angels Stadium. Recently I started working as the front desk clerk at a food distribution company. Many people have helped me as I have grown up. My parents, my sister, teachers and volunteers in many programs. One of the volunteers I remember is John at Special Camp for Special Kids. This was a great summer program. Each camper had their own counselor. But what I liked best was that John just treated me like a regular guy. We talked about things guys talk about, like girls and sports. Speaking of sports, I have played soccer, basketball, and was on my neighborhood swim team. But the sport I like best is baseball. I have played on a challenger Little League team since I was in elementary school, and I'm playing again this season. We have had great buddies from other Little League teams to help me and my teammates at our games. Just like most of you, I want to have a good job, a girlfriend, a car, and an apartment. I want to be more independent. I'm working on these goals. It might take me a while, but I'm confident I'll get there. I encourage each of you to see your abilities, not your disabilities. To have dreams and go for them. Thank you.
Still sleepy. That's very honest and very good response. Can we try that again? How are you?
Good.
Okay, all right. So, Brandy is such an amazing person. You know, as a mom of somebody, of a child with DS, as a mom of twins, as president of the IMDSA and everything else, all the other hats she wears, she is a fabulous lady. Can we say thanks? Okay, so on to me as Mosaic Mama. That is my title. I give that to myself because of everybody here, everybody present, who has a diagnosis of mosaic Down syndrome. I am the eldest. I did some research online to see if I could find more instances of other adults with mosaic. I couldn't find any others all around the world. I looked India, Africa, Asia, you can imagine. I looked everywhere for anybody else with a diagnosis of mosaic Down. turns out, unless I contact NIH for specifics, or other global organizations, it's very possible I could be the eldest anywhere with a diagnosis, actually official diagnosis of Mosaic Down syndrome. So that could be a despicable record for me. So anyway, I'm married. I went through college. I have 2 daughters. One is 16, another one is going to be 13 in a few weeks. And my topic today is, as not just an adult, but as a wife and a mother who has Mosaic Down syndrome, how it affects my family relationship, you know, everything as it relates to being an adult, but I'm focusing on as wife and mother. So bear with me because I didn't write it down. I do better winging it, so you don't have to excuse any pauses that I make. So, as an adult with Mosaic Down syndrome, doing the adulting can be very difficult, especially when my first instinct is to want to go outside and play with my dog or play Pokemon Go. I admit it, I'm an unabashed Pokemon Go player, and that has to do with the impulsivity part of it, okay? And I also have ADHD, so that's a double whammy. So, yeah, so it puts me more in touch with the youthful side of me. I'm very much still in touch with the child in me, and from even a long time ago, even before the idea of getting married was an idea for me, I knew that I would love to be a wife and a mother. But the issues that I faced emotionally and psychologically and socially and everything, I did not have a lot of self-esteem, so I didn't think it would actually happen for me. But it did. I found a great guy, and he understood me, and he showed me what a world of love and yes meant, not just a world of rejection and no meant. And so we traversed our lives together, and today is my 21st wedding anniversary. So as a mom, as a wife, first of all, with Mosaic Down syndrome, there's been a lot of tough roads to hoe. As I said, impulsivity is a problem. So, but my husband also has ADHD, so we both do occasionally do impulsive things. So it's all good, we get that. We get that in each other, so that's okay. But some of the medical concerns I've had to face because of the loose joints thing, the hypotonia, I've had several injuries that have affected my ability to quote the old phrase, put a little hitch in my get-along, made it difficult for me to do some of the things that I like to do. In fact, it started with my knee a long time ago. I tore a ligament, and I'm gonna put it all in a nutshell. I tore a ligament, I have loose joints, and mild hypotonia. Flash forward to today, I have half a meniscus in my right knee, I have arthritis in my toes, and my feet, and my hands, and my wrists, you can imagine, and my neck, my low back. So I've got that going on, and it makes it difficult for me to keep up with my kids. But fortunately, as teenagers, they don't need me to run around after them as much as they used to. So I don't need to worry about that as much. But, you know, there's, still wishing I still had the flexibility and the ability to do the other things that I used to do. I'm only 47 this year. And physically, sometimes when it flares up, I feel like I'm 60. And that definitely puts a crimp in my energy and my ability to do some things. As a mother, my kids have enjoyed over the years my silliness, my impulsivity, my ability to, just pick up and go and make silly comments and whatnot. And my creativity and my desire to just try everything in life at least once. Again, they're in touch with the youth. And my kids have enjoyed that so much, and I've enjoyed it so much. And I went through college. It took me a while to get into a college that helped me find my niche, not just educationally, but in the world. I found my niche at about 43, I would say. I started realizing that my niche was exactly where I am. In the world of children, in the world of special needs, in the world of education, and in the world of advocacy. I found that being in education, I recently got my certified teacher assistant level 1, and I'm going for a certification in special needs, and after that, a certification in gifted, so I can work with not just kids, I can work with kids with special needs. I can work with who are twice exceptional, both with special need and gifted. And I realized that where I am where I am, where my interests lie, and who I am is my niche. Why try to find my niche elsewhere in places that I don't know who I am, and who I am and what I am makes me happy. Once I realize that, things just start falling into place. And your job, as parents, as siblings, as yourselves, as self-advocates, the best place to find where you fit and where you can find it affects your daily life in a positive way, that's where you belong. That's where happiness is. That's where you belong, and that's where you should go for. And that's why I've come to treasure my Mosaic Down syndrome and not just float along or deny it or hate it. And my acceptance of me has made me helped me become a wife, a loving wife, a productive wife, a loving and doting parent, energetic parent, and a better person in life. And it's why I come to love my Mosaic Down syndrome and my Mosaic Down syndrome family. And that is why being here and participating in research and advocating and meeting everybody is so important to me. And I hope you find it important and special to you too. Thank you.
And everyone in my class learned how to do sign language. I was fully included all the way through high school with speech language and resource support from both my mother and a lot of other individuals who have impacted my life. Believe it or not, some of the issues I dealt with was chronic ear infections, speech, language, delays, and I also had apraxia. I had problems sequencing sounds and sequencing words into phrases. When I was 6, I learned how to say the R sound, and when I could say green, I could finally say go. I have been blessed with some great coaches and teachers through the years, both in Texas and in Colorado. I was in rebel gymnastics. I experienced the sports of baseball, soccer, and swim team programs. I went through music lessons myself at 2, and had a wonderful music teacher who had been a kindergarten teacher. So she taught me how the lion was wandering in the jungle to work on bass. I still do a bass guitar, and the birds tweeting in the trees to work on the higher notes. The stories really helped my language skills. I was in the Awanas and Boy Scouts, and I also got my Eagle Scout in June of 2006. When I turned 16, I attended a large church in Fort Collins. I wanted to be on the leadership team for 6th to 12th graders who ran the kids' church for kindergarten through 6th grade. At first, some individuals thought that anyone with issues could be on the team because my parents were to help a lot more than the other parents, but when my parents agreed to keep helping me, they decided to take a chance with me. I am very blessed to serve in many areas of my life. I've been able to impact a lot of lives with my story, and it's a blessing on how many lives I've touched like this. I've been to several countries. I've also been a adult radio for more than 7 more years as the stage manager for Joy Team at Timberline Church, Fort Collins, Colorado. I've been almost roughly to 7, 8, 9 countries. I'm looking forward for Hong Kong later this year. I've been to Florida, Guatemala, Utah, Belgium in 2007, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Haiti, and Hong Kong last year.
I've got a lot of stuff to tell you in the next so many minutes, and I just wanted to let you all know now that it's not about me, it's about you. You helped me to get here, and you're the reason why I do all of this awareness and inspirational talks and support you and your families with Mosaic Down syndrome. Do I just hit the space bar? So, in the UK, there is this television show called The Last Leg. And this show is a satirical program about the news of the week. It puts it in a light-hearted way to express to the audience what's happening in the news regarding disabilities and such like this, because on the one before me, right here, is Josh Whittaker. The one in the middle is the frontman, Adam Hills, and the one at the end over there is Alex Brooker. When I was in Edinburgh in 2015, I'm guessing here, I did a media scheme and I was a steward at the festival, and I met Alex and Josh there and told them about my awareness for Mosaic Down syndrome. And they said that must be hard. But they're all about disabilities, because the reason why it's called The Last Leg, Alex and Adam have prosthetic legs. And they put everything in a light-hearted way, and they're very comical. Right, we have a soap opera in the UK called Coronation Street, which is based in Manchester, where I'm from. And I haven't met many of the cast members, and recently I was able to speak to Julie Hesmanhall, who I've spoken to twice in the past month, and Saran Jones, who had a full in-depth conversation about Mosaic Down syndrome, and the new testing that's being reported in the UK today. It's all over the news. There are good things to it and there are bad things to it. But you might remember this lady, Sally Phillips. Have you ever seen the Bridget Jones movies?
Yes.
Yes. She is her best friend that says the F word a lot. Yeah. So, Sally Phillips has a son with Down syndrome, and she is an advocate, like me, in the UK for Down syndrome. And she took it upon herself to make a documentary about this. And the title of it was A World Without Down Syndrome, because basically in the UK, the government don't want to give the funding out, so it's kind of eradicating our existence. And that's not right, don't you think? So basically, she did this documentary, and I can't think of the word. She wanted me to help out with the show, and there was a flash mob that was in the middle of London in a shopping centre where we all danced to a few well-known songs. Because someone help me with this. I don't want to get it. Just a little.
You say these are right.
Chicken who?
And they're very good. We agree with this. My problem is
Robins. And I started thinking, well, I'm just
can you sit?
rather bad. Yeah. They're blended into the fabric. Yes. All that is.
Ah, there it is.
Anyone free next Saturday? And able to dance? Actually, dancing ability, not crucial.
Who's that? Who's that lady there?
Looks like the lady right in front of me.
Is that me?
I think so.
Hey!
Yeah, let's see.
That's all I wanted to show you all this because I have to limit my presentation in general. But if you want to see this in its entirety, come to me. I'll send you the link for the whole entire program. It's quite a long, lengthy program. It's just about an hour. But it's got all different kinds of information about it, as well as many known faces in the Down syndrome community. So with Sally Phillips, she put me in touch with the report that they were doing in the UK, which is Nuffield Council on Bioethics, which them are the people that took on the report, and she wanted me to go down to London for the official NECAP offices to be involved with the questionnaire. So all the questionnaires got done through me and other people in the UK and was reported back to Nuffield Council, and then me and so many different people along with Sally Phillips went to Parliament to find out the findings of this report. Now some of these are good and bad, and I got confused with these because I didn't understand what was going on in some cases. But what the report's findings actually found out, with the percentage of 92% of people in the UK are getting rid of the Down syndrome babies because they don't understand what it's about and they're scared. And that's the abortion rate, but we want to give them a well-informed and educated decision about their choice. So I am pro-choice. I believe in the woman's rights, whether to keep the child or not. So we need to give them a fully informed and well-educated decision. So I was part of that, and following that, I was able to meet Daniel Vase, who's got the Mickey Mouse hat. She put me in touch with him, which is the Culture Device Dance Project, and in the middle there is Sarah Gordy, who is a well-known actress and dancer in the UK. She's been on many television shows, and she's a dancer for our project. And he wanted me to get involved, to be a booking agent, and help out with the company. And they go about all over the world doing their dances and everything. So, a bit embarrassing. There you go. I was on television the early year, last year, and the television was called The Undateables. Now, what kind of message does that title give you? Really? No. So basically, the animation for the text, not many people know this because they're quite annoyed with the title, but not many people know this. The animation of the text goes like this. So the undateables, the cupid comes out, strikes an arrow through the and the breaks away, where it's called the dateables. So I was lucky enough to go to participate in this show, and I dated a magician from Essex called David. And mostly throughout the States, he sung to me many song-time songs. He's very eccentric, he is a lovely person, but he is from Essex, I'm from Manchester, so it's a bit too far distance. But we meet up like once a year with all the people that have been on the show as a reunion, so it's quite good. And now this one is a video, thank you, a BBC Three video about, here we go, I'll tell you the title in a minute. Things people with Down syndrome are tired of hearing.
Like, what's this Down syndrome fella saying? What makes you angry? People with Down syndrome can't have relationships. Well, obviously they can have relationships. So you're really romantic. Oh, so romantic, yeah. I like William Hayes and years old. And this is Beaver. Not this covenant.
People with Down syndrome can't learn. Yeah. All right then.
Yes, they can. Maybe sometimes they might need a little bit of a push. I've got qualifications mechanic. Qualification head, I think. I passed all 10 of my GCSEs. If we have today, I just don't
She'll be able to do that. I say, yeah, she'll be able to do everything. It's just we'll take the scenic route. This is our pet hate. Adults with Down syndrome are like children. Oh. Do you ever have people like come up to you and talk to you like you're a child?
Yes, it's patronising.
Yeah.
But some people do the head tilt as well. How funny is that? Seriously, some people have actually come up to me and talked to me like, oh really? Yeah? Okay then, nice to know. Yeah? Thank you very much. And in the UK, I have many friends with Down syndrome, translocation Down syndrome, Mosaic Down syndrome, all the things you can think of. And I picked a select few of my little stars in a way, because every one of your children are little stars to me. That's my passion. That's what I want to aim for, their future. So basically, the one at the top there is with Nikki Sanderson. She's called Ava Grace. They are both on television on another soap opera called Hollyoaks, and that's her on-screen mother. And she's absolutely adorable. The one at the bottom there is really close to me, like down the road, and she is called Lottie, and she's a little diamond, I tell you. The one in the middle there, the little lad, he's from Manchester, and he has translocation Down syndrome. He's called Devon. Every time he comes to me, he says, Claire, Claire, Claire. So cute. The one at the top over there, he is called Jackson, and he is a newbie in our region, in our area, and he's just a little darling as well. But the strange thing is, this little girl down here, she's called Mia. That's her mom, Joanne. She saw me when we went to the Blackpool Zoo excursion, and she'd recently seen the BBC 3 video, and she went mad, and now we're really good friends. Mia has Down syndrome, but she doesn't have the simian crease or the gap between her toes, which I thought was pretty cool. Right, a lady when I went to school with, I met up again recently, and she didn't understand why I had left school. So basically, she is now a child psychologist, and she goes around different schools in the area and helps out the children that way. And she wanted to write an article about me because she didn't know where I went. So we had a good conversation, and she wrote an article about it, and it got on to Huffington Post. Does many people know about it here? Yeah? Yeah. Cool. So if you want to see that, I can give you the link later on. And we are coming up to my end room, and in 30 minutes. Yes! So, my future plans is also creating awareness constantly through social media, through my format media, because I'm basically a freelance filmmaker, so I'm going to go, I'll be around the place filming self-advocates. I'm going to do a donation drive video to get more money for IMDSA, because we know it's based off volunteers, and I'm going to go about the place and do even more. I'm also wanting to write a children's book, but I want, thank you, whoever that was, I want to put in a book, a children's book, what people are like today, to show children a diversity of how many different people are in the world. So, if I can remember rightly, is some people are good, some people are sad, some people are happy, some people are bad. And that's the first cute couple of pages. It's going to be like a album type thing. And my mom's an artist, so she's going to be my illustrator. And we want to put it all together, and I've got a PR person, hopefully we can get it out there. And maybe we can bring it here to America. And I have also pitched to an American TV show, who Stephen Clark is in this audience right now. I actually pitched to Born This Way, but I haven't got any reply back, but I'm sure that with his connections, we can find something out of that. And obviously, I want to move to America. Thank you.
This is the button you press? Yeah.
George, Virginia. I graduated from Prince George High School in the class of 2016. I currently work at a golf course, and attending John Todd Community College part-time. I would like to eventually get a job working with my hands, but I haven't settled on a career yet. I enjoy drawing, camping, weightlifting, TV, video games, stuff like that, stuff. And while growing up, I always wanted to work in the community. I worked in the community volunteering in nursing homes, like church, serving food to the homeless, as a summer recreation aide with younger children, playing sports, participating in Boy Scouts. I would like to share a couple of key events I have participated in within the past couple of years. In early 2016, I achieved my Eagle rank, which is the highest rank in Boy Scouts, like proud to I was required to plan and lead a complete community search project. I chose to paint mural painting of a landscape with a Bible scripture on the wall of the church Sunday school classroom for my project. It took a lot more time than I anticipated. It was very challenging. After a few months and more than 200 service hours, with the help of family, friends, and fellow scouts, the project was finally completed. I was excited when I was finished and hoped the paper will inspire people to be patient and work hard to be the best they can be. And last summer, I also went on a mission trip to Pennsylvania with my youth of the church. We met with other youth who represent churches from other parts of the country. We formed teams to work in various service areas in the York, Pennsylvania area. I was a part of a team assigned to serve as a place called Lincoln Farm, which was a therapy center for children with special needs. Our job for the week was to shovel a forest due to last minute lifetime, and however, it was very hard and small work. I met new people and was glad that I had the chance to help others. It was very rewarding, and the children at the farm could. So when we were to clean all the horse stables, so that the children at the farm could then help spend more time riding horses in a very more enjoyable environment, rather than focusing on cleaning up, so they can interact with the staff and help them do more than just be treated like they don't do things. Okay. You guys can hear me right? Yeah. You guys did hear all that, right? I have my driver's license, and I drive to and from work and school and the gym. I really don't like to say this, but I got in trouble for speeding on my way to school last year. I don't plan to do that again. I really don't. I was very nervous telling my parents. They weren't very happy. I wasn't allowed to drive for a little while, for like months. Not months, but weeks. I had to reform community service and pay for the ticket. It's paid already, everything's done, so it's all good. This is my first speeding ticket, and I plan to make it my very last. So. And health-wise, I'm doing pretty well. I have, recently I just had blood pressure, and I was working with my doctor to get this under control. Better eating habits, exercise, and a low dose of medication. I sometimes struggle to remain focused and tend to be self-conscious when socially interacting. And I'm still trying to figure out what I really will want to do when I get out of college. My college major is currently graphic design. I'll probably change, but as I enjoy drawing and art, I plan to make that as a hobby rather than a career. I'm pursuing other options such as working as an apprentice in carpentry to see if I would enjoy in that field. And I appreciate the Mosaic Down Syndrome Association for giving me this opportunity to speak for all for our research they support, and I really enjoy myself at this conference. I would hope everyone will continue to have a great time this weekend. Thank you for your attention.
So I guess.
Can you explain your YouTube channel real quick so everybody understands what you're doing?
Oh, before I get into the whole thing, I was going to say that you probably see me walk around with this camera. I have a YouTube channel. Follow me. So I'll put this thing down and get this started.
What is your YouTube channel called?
I think maybe I was going to implement that into what I was saying. So I was thinking just going for it. So some of you guys kind of know me, and I have introduced myself to you. My name is Owen Nebulous, and I guess I kind of had to learn to accept myself for who I am. Kind of recently, and also I learned to mostly accept it when my parents told me around the time between elementary school and middle school. And to be honest, for me, it's kind of been a tough road. Because in school, at times I would get in, believe me, a lot of trouble. But then I was like, you know what? To be honest, I thought it would have been because I was diagnosed with this. Then my parents were like, no, it's not that, it's just you. But I was kind of like, you know what? I think I got this. I think I finally got this. And then I gotta say, my toughest years had to be between elementary school and middle school. But when I got to high school, I was like, you know what? I think I might want to make a little bit of change. And in high school, what I loved about it was that so many great people just came up to me and were like, Owen, you're different. We accept you for who you are. And that was just amazing. And as Brady brought up, I have a YouTube channel, and that's kind of where I kind of find myself different from other people. Because when I create these videos, and just a little side note, I make technology videos, these vlogs, which I've been walking around and saying hi to quite a few of you, and it's just something that I'm super passionate about. Because I've never really thought about being a video creator and like that, because I've kind of learned to hide in the shadows a little bit, and I was kind of like, I think I really want to expand. So I got this giant thing. I've been making these really awesome videos, and it's just one thing that makes me me. Because when I first started that, I deleted the videos 2 days after I uploaded them when I started in 2012. And then I was like, people were giving me such a hard time, and I was like, you know what, they're right. I should just stop, give up. Then I was like, you know what? No. I'm gonna keep going for it. It's something I truly love. And then I kind of just fell in love with it. I got so much support with it, and also the support of all of you, and just being me. People have accepted me on the internet, and at first it was just so hard for me to be me. It was just something about me that I thought was the hardest thing. I wouldn't have even thought to even come to one of these events, but the first time, 2 years ago when I first came to one of these, I was like, this is amazing. This is truly amazing. To meet each and every one of you, even Josh, who I had gotta say, you're the man. Yeah. You're the man. And just all of you. Another camera right over here. It's just an awesome experience because to meet more people, for me, it truly makes me me. And I've learned to accept who I am. I don't let anything push me down because if someone pushes me out, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm special for who I am, and I've learned to accept that, and I'm not going to let anything push me down. So, for me, it's been a rough road, and for everybody else, everyone is unique in their own way, as Rob said, and to be honest, that's for me as well, because I've pushed myself to the limit to do what I do best, and it's just an awesome experience. And all of you guys, I gotta say thank you very much for just coming out for absolutely everything. Everything from every one of you has been awesome.